Hi, this is Dr. Scott. I have one last lesson to give you for this quarter, and that's how to make in-text citations. Um, and I'll start with this handout here that's in the Files box under MLA Formats for in-text citations. So you go to Files, MLA Rules and Formats, and down to this handout. You'll find this one. I'll also be showing you MLA in-text citations from the Purdue OWL, so you can skip forward to that in the screencast if you'd prefer. But I do want to show you this one just because it's super simple. I've been using it for years. By the way, MLA 7 and MLA 8 are the same in this regard, so don't worry about that. It turns out that in-text citations are not as hard as students think they are. When I tell you that, you don't believe me, or at least my experience has been that you don't believe me. So that's why I literally cut and pasted this document from Wikipedia page, because I find that Wikipedia has more authority than I do in terms of whether you can do this easily or not. So I'll size it up a little bit for you. The basic idea here, I'm just going to read it straight from Wikipedia. When citing a work within the text of a paper, try to mention the material being cited in a signal phrase. I would also call this a quote sandwich in my lexicon, but whatever you want to do that includes the author's name. After that phrase, insert in brackets the page number in the work referred to from which the information is drawn. Note the position of the period. For example, in his study, Lopez said that the response, quote, far exceeded our expectations, close quote, space, parentheses, page number only the numeral, no P, no PP, no P, period, PG, none of that, close parentheses, and the period in this case goes way out here on the other end. I guess that's to show that this citation goes with the sentence to the left instead of going to the sentence to the right if the period was over where it would normally be, which is over after expectations. Now, the reader can then look up Lopez in the works cited list for the complete information about the publication for which page 253 is being cited. It's really that easy. So put the author's name in a signal phrase, put the page number if there is one. By the way, again, in the 21st century, if you're using an e-text, if you're using web pages, there's very rarely page numbers online that are easily cited. So just don't put a page number at all. Just say, in his final study, Lopez said that the response far exceeded our expectations, period, close quote. And I will know to look up Lopez, and all the readers will know that you can look up Lopez on the works cited page. If the author's not mentioned in the signal phrase for some reason, and the reason shouldn't be laziness on your part, then you can put the author's name in an in-text citation like this. This is the one that many of you are familiar with. The habits of England's workers changed dramatically during the Industrial Revolution. Hodgkinson, 81. I'll mention while I'm on this page that the rules for APA are completely different. And since most of you are taking classes in business and social sciences where they use APA extensively, this is like Apple versus Microsoft or something. But we use MLA, and in MLA we cite by the author's name. In APA they use the title of the work and the date of publication. So don't get the two mixed up, because in this class you got to do MLA. Now, since you probably don't believe me and you don't believe Wikipedia, I'll take you over here to the Purdue Online Writing Lab, which once again did this beautiful job. Now, the bad news is that there's no citation machine for in-text citations. It only works for the works cited page, and I showed you how to do that in the last screencast. But once again, I'd like you to see that the Purdue OWL people did this beautiful job of laying out all the rules. In fact, here's the ones that we just went over: in-text citations for author page style. Wordsworth stated that romantic poetry was marked by, quote, spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, unquote, space, parentheses, 263, parentheses, period. This is exactly what I just showed you on the Wikipedia example, except the name is Wordsworth instead of Lopez. And the same thing here. If you don't mention the author's name in the in-text citation, the signal phrase or the quote sandwich for some reason, then you put it over here. Romantic poetry is characterized by the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, close quote, space, parentheses, Wordsworth, 263. Note that there's no comma, there's no nothing, it's just Wordsworth, 263, close parentheses, period. Now, that's pretty much all you need to know from my perspective. The same rules apply if you're just paraphrasing. You still want to cite where your source comes from. And actually, from my perspective, of course, why wouldn't you brag about where your source comes from in a signal phrase or a quote sandwich or whatever you want to call it? Now, for those of you that need more guidance, just keep scrolling. So inside in-text citations for print sources with a known author, in-text citations for print sources by a corporate author, in-text citations with print sources with no known author, which we did cover, right? And by the way, if there's no known author in MLA, then we switch to what APA does automatically, which is to cite by the title of the work. And that's the way it will be cited on the works cited page too, and that's the real secret. Whatever goes in this in-text citation parentheses is where you're asking the reader to look on your alphabetized and carefully formatted and automatically formatted by citation machine works cited page. So honestly, if you do the works cited page first and realize that anything in this in-text citation is referring to that works cited page, it'll make a whole lot more sense to you. The old American expression of putting the cart before the horse applies to putting the in-text citation before you have putting in the in-text citation before you have the works cited page. So I would strongly recommend that you make the works cited page first. Then you know where you're directing your reader. But again, if you just follow these simple rules or these simple rules, you should be fine. I'm not your dissertation advisor. I'm not your thesis advisor for your master's degree. I'm not even your senior thesis advisor. I just need you to do the most basics. And the most basics are right here on this page from Wikipedia. So if you can just master this much of this, I will be a very happy instructor and you will be a very happy student. And we can all move you right along to English 1B or whatever is your next step in life.